Okay, got it. We'll see you then.
대통령, 안녕하세요.
It's a good thing you're here. I just finished booking one embassy for an interview.
진짜요? 박수!
I did a good job.
네, 너무 잘했어요. 어디예요? 섭외된 대사님이?
The ambassador of Kazakhstan.
오, 카자흐스탄 대사님. 톡톡님, 제가 디플로마 토크 맡고 나서 카자흐스탄 대사님 처음 나오시는 거예요?
Is it the first time that the Kazakh ambassador will be on Arirang TV?
아, 그거는 사실 그 전 대사님들이 나오셨을 수도 있어요. 혹시 모르니까 한번 찾아볼까요?
Did you find it?
제가 지금 찾아봤는데 카자흐스탄 대사님 아리랑 TV에 출연하시는 거 이번이 처음인 것 같아요.
Really?
네, 여기 보면은 지금 주 카자흐스탄 한국 대사님은 출연하신 적이 있는데요.
We did it in a government training center, and there was some effort.
주한 카자흐스탄 대사님 출연이 처음인 것 같아요.
Wow.
박수! 카자흐스탄 대사님 출연하십니다.
Shall we prepare for the interview now?
네, 열심히 해봅시다. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 대사관 전문 PD 나들입니다. 와! 저희 지금 여기 와 있는 이곳, 여러분 혹시 이 길 아시나요? 여기 어디서 많이 본 길 같지 않으세요? 여기 바로 대사관 전문길입니다. 대사관 전문길. 전 대사관 전문 PD, 여긴 대사관 전문길. 제가 만든 말이에요. 여기 대사관들이 너무 많아가지고 보세요. 여기도 대사관, 여기도 대사관, 여기 다 대사관이에요. 다 대사관. 이 많은 대사관들 중에 저희가 오늘 찾아갈 대사관이 있습니다. 오늘 저희가 다리가 되어서 한국과 연결해 볼 나라는 바로 카자흐스탄입니다, 여러분. 카자흐스탄.
Kazakhstan is located in northern Central Asia. It borders Russia to the northwest, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan to the south. Kazakhstan is the world's 9th largest country with a size equivalent to Western Europe. That is why Kazakhstan has the nickname Giant of Central Asia. Kazakhstan is also known as a resource-rich country. It is Central Asia's largest oil-producing country and ranked 12th in world crude oil reserves as of 2020. It ranks number 1 in the world in chromium reserves, 2nd in uranium, and 8th in zinc.
아, 오늘 제가 좀 신나요. 왜냐면요. 디플로맷 토크 최초로 그리고 아리랑 TV 최초로 카자흐스탄 대사님이 나오십니다. 와! 그래서 제가 오늘 새로운 대사관, 처음 가보는 대사관, 그리고 대사님도 처음 뵙고 또 대사관도 처음 가보는 날이라서 굉장히 설레거든요. 그러면 이 설렌 마음을 안고 한번 가볼까요? 대사관으로 들어가 보겠습니다. 가시죠. 대사관. 바로 여기 이곳입니다. 저기 국기가 보이시죠? 여기가 대사님 집무실이에요.
Yes, please come in. Hello, hello, hello. Nice meeting you. 어서 오세요.
Salamet, Sispe.
Hoş geldiniz, hoş geldiniz. 어서 오세요.
Mening Efim, Nuri.
Менің атым Нұрғали Арыстанов.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Actually, this is the first time I visited Kazakh embassy in
Oh,
Korea.
really?
Yes.
Please
yes.
welcome. This is the
Wow.
House of Kazakh-Korean Friendship. So we don't call it embassy, we call it House of Friendship.
Okay. And you're the first Kazakh ambassador who
Yeah.
appeared on our show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank
Very
you.
special day for me.
Delighted to be welcoming you at the embassy, at the House of Friendship.
I've heard of Kazakhstan often, but it is still a country with a mysterious and interesting image. So today, we will provide you with new information about the country of Kazakhstan and its relationship with Korea.
하나, 둘, 셋.
We will begin our first interview with the ambassador of Kazakhstan now.
So first, could you introduce your country, Kazakhstan, to Korean public?
Well, Kazakhstan is a huge landmass. It's the 9th largest country. It is very peace-loving, and its multi-vector foreign policy is very much well known all over the world. And we have very active foreign policy, and some experts say that we punch above our weight because for a middle power we are sometimes trying to solve and contributing to the global issues, global agenda as well, especially in terms of nuclear non-proliferation. We believe in good neighborly relations, and we promote our foreign policy in a constructive and friendly way. And we believe that the chief goal of our foreign policy is creating a good external environment for the domestic growth, economic growth of Kazakh people. So as diplomats, we have the privilege and honor to be serving our nation, and it's a great honor to be here in South Korea.
So before the actual shooting, we were talking about there are some similarities between our two countries. So did you find any similarities between Koreans and Kazakhs?
Of course, there are lots of similarities. We share the same genetics. There are lots of similarities. For example, if I'm going here, people don't see me as a Kazakh or anybody foreigner. They take me as a Korean.
So they talk in Korean?
Yeah, they talk to me always Korean. And there are many Korean friends who visited Kazakhstan and came back to me and said they are treated very well like Kazakhs. There is no discomfort there. So, and similarly also we have this culture of doing things right and doing things fast.
Fast.
For example, in Korea, you have pale. We have a test. We call it test. So when we see the target and we see that this should be done, and it's done fast, and we do the same.
So you can achieve many things pali.
Yeah, we can do pale and the test together. Yes, of course.
So Korea and Kazakhstan celebrated the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations last year. So how do you evaluate our bilateral relations so far?
Well, 30 years between Kazakhstan and Korea have been very fruitful, and we were building on the success of the past success stories. So it means that we are having incremental improvements, and every time when we were upending, every time elevating our relationship. So we have at this point, we enjoy enhanced strategic partnership, which means that our relationship includes all the directions of our spectrums of our cooperation, starting from the political dialogue, then we have commercial engagement, investments, and economic cooperation. We have tourism, we have culture, and of course we have the people-to-people ties, education, tourism. So you just name it. It means it's a very vast area of cooperation. We cannot just focus one or two areas, but it's over-encompassing. Yeah.
Since establishing diplomatic relations 30 years ago, Korea and Kazakhstan have continued to develop friendly and cooperative relations based on common values and cultural affinity. After Kazakhstan gained independence from the former Soviet Union on December 16, 1991, Korea recognized Kazakhstan as a state on December 30th. Formal diplomatic relations were established in January 1992, with the South Korean Embassy in Kazakhstan opening in July 1993 and the Kazakh Embassy in South Korea opening in April 1995. Since the establishment of diplomatic ties, the leaders of both countries have visited each other 6 times. The leaders have continued to meet on international diplomatic stages, such as the Beijing Olympics, the G20 summit, and the ASEM meeting. The bilateral relationship was elevated to a strategic partnership in 2009. In 2021, the leaders of the two countries adopted a joint statement declaring that they will expand their strategic partnership. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan, which is the largest economic power in Central Asia, is also the largest trade and investment partner for Korea in the Central Asian region. Trade volume between Korea and Kazakhstan started at $11 million in 1992 and reached an all-time high of $6.5 billion in 2022. Korea's main export items to Kazakhstan in 2022 included passenger cars, wireless phones, synthetic resins, cosmetics, and automobile parts. Meanwhile, major import items included crude oil, uranium, ferroalloys, and medicinal herbs.
And at this point, we have bilateral mechanisms of cooperation. Plus, in addition to that, we have C5+1 or Central Asia plus Korea, C5+K platform, which unites all of Central Asian countries and Korea. Our engagement is not only bilateral, but also regional as well as global. So, of course, we are aware of the President Yoon Suk-yeol's vision for creating and setting up and developing Korea as a global pivotal state. And we in Kazakhstan as a middle power will be happy to engage with you as a global pivotal state and work together with you to address the global issues.
So 2022 was the year of mutual cultural exchange between Korea and Kazakhstan. So what aspects of Korean culture are known in Kazakhstan?
Korea is becoming a global player in the cultural world, and in Korea we can already sense, we can see the presence of Korean culture in Kazakhstan. We have, of course, K-pop, we have Korean dramas, and of course we have Korean food and everything. At the same time, because we have a very good linkages between cultural entities in Kazakhstan and here in Korea also, we develop very similar cultural activities in Kazakhstan. For example, we have qpop. Q stands for Kazakhstan in Kazakh transcript, and it's coming up very successfully. And they are qpop. And we have also I Sultan, for example, director Timur Mukmambetov, for example. He's also worldly known, world famous director. And also we have Imam Bek. He's a DJ. He's very well known. So lots of good celebrities. We have our own. But of course, it's Kazakhstan and Korea. We are friendly countries, and we enrich each other mutually through cultural exchange, and we welcome this kind of cooperation.
Maybe I should start listening to Q-pop.
Yeah, you should. Try many. If you just go to YouTube, and there are many good Q-pop songs. Yeah.
I will. So there are many ethnic Koreans or Koryosaram living in Kazakhstan. So tell us about them. How are they doing in Kazakhstan?
Well, we have over 100,000 ethnic Koreans, Koryosaram, and we believe they are prospering in Kazakhstan. They are part and parcel of our modern Kazakh society, contemporary society. They are chief executive officers at this point, and they are ranking officials, high-ranking officials, celebrities, and some of them were even appointed as ministers in the past.
Koryosaram refers to people who immigrated to present-day Russia and the former Soviet Union from the mid-19th century until Korea was liberated on August 15, 1945. for reasons such as agricultural immigration, anti-Japanese independence movement, and forced deportation. In Russian official documents, a record of Koreans living in the Maritime province in Russia appears in 1864. In September 1894, 65 Koreans from 14 families created a village for the purpose of living in the Russian-administered South Ussurisk region, which is considered the starting point of the migration of Koryosaram. In 1937, as tensions with Japan increased, the Soviet government carried out the immigration of Koreans to Central Asia. Accordingly, Koryosaram living in the Far East were forcibly relocated to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan from September 1937 to January 1938. Their numbers were approximately 36,000 households and 170,000 people. At that time, there were approximately 20,000 households and 95,000 Koreans who settled in Kazakhstan. Most of the forcibly relocated Koreans were placed on collective farms and state-run farms, and they were thought to excel, as they always exceeded their production levels. As of 2021, the number of Koryosaram living in Kazakhstan is approximately 118,000. Currently, second to fourth generation Koryosaram form the mainstream of Korean society there and are doing well in a variety of fields.
As I was researching the Koryosaram of Kazakhstan, I realized that I wanted to hear their stories in person. So, I had an online interview with Professor German Kim, a Koryosaram living in Kazakhstan.
So most people here in Kazakhstan or in Uzbekistan, they call themselves Koryosaram. Now we have three identities. One is a nationality or citizenship. Then ethnic identity. We never have, hidden our identity. Also very strong diaspora identity. We are saying we are neither North Korean, we are nor South Korean. We are Koryosaram. I wish that this relation will be sustainable, stable. We can cooperate in technologies, in ideas, in creative economy, for example.
I learned a lot of new things about Koryosaram through an interview with the professor. I hope that exchanges between Koryosaram in Kazakhstan and Koreans will become more active in the future so that they can get to know each other better.
They are our fellow citizens, and they are playing a bridge connecting our two countries. And speaking of which, I would like to also mention that we have direct flights between Almaty and Seoul. We have 11 flights per week. 11 flights, wow. Yes. So you're welcome to visit Almaty, and Almaty is world known as a place for mountaineering, trekking, and hiking. By the way, we don't have any visa requirements, so we have a visa-free regime. So any Korean who would like to come to Kazakhstan, they can visit Kazakhstan for 30 days, visa-free. So vice versa, Kazakh travelers can come here. We have, as governments, we have already created a platform on good conditions for our citizens to engage with each other directly. And people-to-people ties are also ongoing. And on top of that, we, as government, and we have the vision from my president that we should promote very friendly cooperation with South Korea. He personally visited in 2021 on a state visit here and paid this visit, and just by doing that, he highlighted South Korea's role in Kazakhstan's foreign policy. Just recently, last week, on 1st of September, he addressed the nation with his State of the Nation address, and he highlighted many important aspects of our cooperation. But in fact, he was talking about the Kazakhstan's development. So last years and a few years ago, President Tokayev launched a fair and just Kazakhstan, where the more focus will be on better protection of human rights and democratization of Kazakh society. But this year's address was called Economic Course of Just Kazakhstan. He was telling about more focus on artificial intelligence, IT, developing drones, and also infrastructure development, developing middle corridor, and many other areas like hydrogen generation. So these are the priority sectors for cooperation between Kazakhstan and Korea. So by providing the vision for Kazakhstan to develop further, he was also providing a boost for foreign policy, for our strategic partners to engage Kazakhstan more constructively. So South Korea is one of them. If you project these things into the cooperation between Kazakhstan and South Korea, that it provides the boost to our cooperation. Also, President Yoon Suk-yeol's national security strategy, it was announced just recently in June. Infrastructure development, energy development, and also mineral resources, education, tourism, trainings. These are the main development areas for engagement of South Korea with Central Asian countries. The whole entire paragraph is there in the. Just recently, for example, Foreign Minister Park Jin was in Kazakhstan in June, and he had a meeting, had a courtesy call on my president. It was a very productive and fruitful meeting, and they discussed the future growth areas for cooperation. And also he met with Foreign Minister, His Excellency Murat Nurtliyev, and the meeting between them was like a very good meeting. And it was in addition to ministerial meeting, it was the meeting between brothers and very friends. So I think with this kind of engagement, with this kind of political support, our cooperation has very much a lot of good prospects. And when it comes to our cooperation, I think the sky is the limit.
So Korea repatriated the remains of independence activist General Hong Bom-do from Kazakhstan in 2021.
It was a very historic decision made by President Tokayev when he came here and The Korean side officially requested us to give and return the remains of General Han Bam-do, who is a national hero of Korea. And we gave it back to Korea, and because of this historic decision, all of Korean citizens, they were very happy. And our diplomats were thanked and they were recognized, and Kazakhstan's contribution to friendship, and even our diplomats who were present, everybody were telling, the moment you say we are from Kazakhstan, they were saying, oh, thank you for the decision, and they were thanking us a lot.
I heard it was a long process. It started from 1990s?
Yeah, it's a long process, of course, but it's decisions are done by the wise leadership. So it was the decision of President Tokayev to return, and it was the major component of in his program during the visit.
So in the future, what is an area you'd like to see the two countries expand cooperation and exchange in?
My low-hanging fruit would be, of course, establishing direct flights between Astana and Seoul. I would like to start slow, and of course it's up to the governments and to the diplomats here and your diplomats there to engage in this kind of very good constructive projects, and this is number one. Number two is that we have all the mechanisms of cooperation, be it intergovernmental cooperation or political consultations or C5+1 ministerial meeting. So there are lots of things that we're going to do, and it's going to be very enhancing, enticing for us, energizing. So we'll be working together to expand the horizons of our cooperation. For us, mostly we are interested in engaging with Korea in technological cooperation and also in IT infrastructure. And we also have advanced in that area, so it is a natural fit for us to work together. We are rich in mineral resources. We can jointly explore and produce these things. There are many things that we can do. I mean, as ambassador, I'll be happy to promote, for example, the visits, highest level meetings, for example, presidential meetings, and mutual exchange of speakers of parliaments. When you set the process right and according to the agenda, when the two sides are engaging in the substantive talk and discussions, there are many things. Kazakhstan and Korea, we are just friends, and as ambassador, I'll be happy to promote this and focus not only on one area, but entire spectrum of our cooperation and elevate it together to the next highest level. That's going to be my mission.
It's great to know that we have a friend like Kazakhstan that we can count on.
Yeah, absolutely. You can count on us. We are friends, and we should be, and strategic partners. We should be supporting each other. We are supporting each other, not only bilaterally, but also multilaterally.
During the interview with the ambassador, what I remembered most was him saying that Korea and Kazakhstan are trustworthy friends. It is always nice to have a lot of friends you can trust. Using today's episode of Diplomat Talks as a bridge, I hope people will learn a lot of new things about Korea and Kazakhstan relations.
Yeah.
With their name on it.
Okay,
So this is their name in Korean.
Oh, thank you so much.
So you can use this instead of your signature. You can use this with Korean back. Yes, Nuri and stuff.
Oh, thank you so much.
We usually use red for this.
Okay,
so.
this is the color, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.